here's the question. Where have I lost hope and lost heart? Where have you lost hope and lost heart in your life? See, the answer for Bartimaeus here is clear. I want to see. Right? If it's just boom, it's like that. What does that look like for me and you? How do you fill in the blank? I have lost hope, that blank. What does that look like in your life and story? I have lost heart, that blank. What does that look like for you? And as you're trying to stir, and some of that stuff's been pushed down so far, as you're trying to stir that up, hey, deep breath. I want to remind you of something. I want to remind you of how easy it is to lose hope, lose heart, to lose our dreams and the desires that we once had for our lives. It's so easy. I think sometimes we forget how much is working against us. One of the things that's working against you and me here is the passage of time. Right? I've talked a lot about how now that I'm on the north side of 50, right, I feel like I'm running out of time to do everything, to be the man, the father, the husband, the pastor, the leader that I want to be, and to be all that God's called me to be. And you get that, right? Because day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, and nothing's changing. So you go 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and you've not moved forward in any of your dreams or desires at all. You get to the point where you start thinking, what? It's just not going to happen. And you give up. You throw in the towel. And you begin to lose hope, and you begin to lose heart. So one of the things working against you and me in this is simple. It's the passage of time. Here's another part. Here's a little detail. You have an enemy in your story who hates your desire. Did you know that? There's an enemy in your story who hates not only you and the idea of you ever connecting or reconnecting with God. He hates your desire. He's not just there to say, hey, man, look at that. Doesn't that look good? Go ahead, snort it, drink it, smoke it, touch it, feel it. No. He hates your desire too. And so what does he do? He tries to seduce it. Bring that desire over here. He tries to allure it over. He tries to bind it. He tries to trap it in things like addiction, work, sex, alcohol, drugs. Bind it up. He tries to kill it. He tries to destroy it. And if he can't do that, he'll just bury it in a life of duty and obligation. And if you can't do that, you want to know what he does? He tries to convince you that all desire does in your life is lead you to disappointment. You remember when you were a kid? Yeah. You remember that deep desire you had for your life? Yeah. Yeah, that never happened. And you remember when you got married and how exciting it was? Yeah. You remember that deep desire and that dream you had for your first marriage? You remember that? Yeah. Yeah, that never happened. You see this? All desire is going to do is lead you to disappointment. So the best thing you can do, my best bet, is just to stop dreaming. That's the way this stuff works. The enemy hates our desire. You know why? Because our desire, most of the core desires of our heart were placed there by God himself. It's who you were created to be. And he also knows that this desire thing, if you start to walk into this thing, it will lead you not only to God, it will lead you to the life that he has for you. Desire is a big roadmap for us back to our place in the story. And the enemy hates that. So we got time, we got the enemy, and here's the saddest answer of all. Too often we don't help with this very much in the church. Our approach in the church is more like the church people in the story than it is the approach of Jesus. So Jesus, Bartimaeus is sitting there alongside the road blind, and he hears this guy, Jesus, is coming by, and what? He jumps up, Son of David, have mercy on me. It's like, oh my gosh, maybe, just maybe, this guy can change my life forever. And what's the church people say? It says the people leading Jesus through the crowd tell him to shut up. Shut up. Be quiet. Whoa. Jesus, the name Jesus stirs up this stuff, and maybe my life can look different. Maybe I don't have to be blind for the rest of my life anymore. And the church crowd turns to him and says, shut up. Be quiet. Stay where you are. What you want really doesn't matter. And by the way, you answered the question wrong. Jesus says, what do you want me to do for you? Everybody knows the answer is forgive my sins, baptize me, give me grace, punch my ticket to heaven, take me on a mission trip, or teach me how to tithe. Those are the appropriate church answers. And you said, what? I want to see? How selfish is that? What you want doesn't matter. Your desire is not important. You ever felt that? See, Jesus, he was born into a world where the religious of the religious practice a very soul-killing, heart-destroying spirituality that was all about performance, duty, and obligation. And here's my question. Has that really changed? Have you ever had a church experience or a religious experience or a series of church experiences or religious experiences or years of church experience and religious experience that left you walking away where you felt like the deepest desires of your heart really didn't matter much to Jesus? Yeah, me too.